Hey there, welcome to Treadmill Review Guru. Today we're going to take a look at 3 different rowers on the market. You have the Concept2 rower, we've got the Hydrow rower, and the Nordictrack RW500 rower. So Concept2, if you know anything about rowers, you know about the Concept2. It is the tried and tested, favorited air rower on the market. Everybody loves it. It's used in gyms, CrossFit boxes. It does not require electricity. It's got a very in-depth console, but it's very simple, and it will sync with third-party apps. It's also very reasonably priced. So everybody knows and loves the Concept2. The Hydrow is a newer rower on the market, and it is the high-end version. So as you can see, you've got a 22-inch touchscreen right here. It does require a subscription, which is $38 a month, but you get really engaging classes and content. So this has been compared to the Peloton of rowing, and it really does function that way. It's very smooth, it's very sleek. And then over here we have the Nordictrack RW500, which is kind of a combination of the two. So it has, as you can see up here at the front, it has the flywheel. So this is an air rower, but it also has digital resistance, just like the Hydrow. So it's a little quieter. The Hydrow is very silent, and the Nordictrack is kind of a combination of the two. You also have your basic console down here, and then it will sync with an iPad or tablet. A tablet is included when you purchase the rower. So it's kind of an option that puts you in between the standard air rower, the high-end magnetic rower, and then you've got the hybrid. So let's take a closer look at the similarities and differences between each one. So let's take a look at some of the similarities between these machines. First, let's look at the footprint. So on the Concept2, it is 96 inches long. Of the 3 of them, it's the longest. It's about 22 inches wide and about 45 inches high to the top of the console. The Hydrow is actually 10 inches shorter. It's 86 inches long, about 24 inches wide, and the top of that console reaches to about 45 inches. The Nordictrack is very similar. It's about 86.5 inches long, so just a little longer, 24 inches wide, and then this console also raises to about 45 inches when you put that tablet in there. So they all have a very similar footprint. The seats on each, as you can see, each one of these seats has a little bit of a cutout at the back, which just kind of makes space for your tailbone as you're rowing, and it's a little bit contoured at the front. So all of these have that cut out at the back, they're contoured at the front, and the footboards are very similar. So you'll notice you have a sturdy footboard back here with those heel clips that lift up, which allow for that ankle flexion, and the catch on all of them is just right above the footboards. So they're comfortable, they're easy to use, and they all have roughly the same footprint. But let's dive into some differences. So let's first start with the Concept2. So this is an air rower. As you will notice, it does not have a plug. It doesn't require electricity. Once you start rowing, the console is battery powered and it will automatically power up. And so you don't have to plug it in, which is a really nice feature. Also, it folds. A lot of people don't fold them. They just store them vertically because they're easy to lift. But it will fold here down at the bottom of the track, which is really nice. So it doesn't require electricity and it does fold. It's an air rower, which basically means it has unlimited air resistance. You can put the biggest, strongest CrossFit guy on here and he cannot outrow this machine because as much air as gets sucked into that flywheel, it will increase the amount of resistance. So you can't outrow it. And that's one of the reasons why people absolutely love the Concept2. Also, the monitor, it looks simple, but this monitor has quite a few extensive features and it will sync with third-party apps. You can do tethered rowing where you row between 2 competitors, and you can also upload your data to the ErgData app or upload it online to compete in rowing contests. They have worldwide rowing contests, so people all over the world will upload their data. And so the Concept2 offers a lot of customizable training features. You're not locked into a subscription here. You're not locked into anything specific. You have a lot of creativity and you're in control. The Hydrow is well suited for people who maybe don't have as much rowing experience, right? It's very sleek and it's very quiet. So unlike the Concept2, which is an air rower, this is a magnetic rower. You'll notice there's no flywheel up here. So it does not generate nearly as much noise when you're using it. And I'll demo each of these machines in just a second so you can see. But it's very quiet. However, it does not fold up. So it's big, it takes up space, and it does not fold in half. You can store it vertically, but you have to buy a special kit to do that because it's so heavy. And it does require subscription. So not only do you need to plug it in, but you do need to have Wi-Fi, and you will need to pay for a subscription. It doesn't have really a lot of functionality if you don't pay for the subscription. But it's very comfortable. Of the three of these rowers, I find this one is the easiest to just sit on and use. I don't get tired, I don't get bored. My glutes don't hurt, so it's very, very comfortable. And I love the fact that it uses a strap right here instead of a chain. It just goes in very smoothly in and out of that rower. If you come over here to the Nordictrack, it's kind of a combination of the two. So it does have magnetic resistance, and you have 26 digital resistance levels in there. So it's a little bit quieter because not all of the resistance is generated by the flywheel. However, it does still have a flywheel. So you can see the flywheel's up here, and it does have a damper. So you can adjust the amount of air that flows in and out of that flywheel. So you can modify your air resistance, and on the console you can modify your magnetic resistance. So it's kind of the best of both. And like the Concept2, this one will fold up in the middle. Right here, you can lift it and fold it so you can collapse it when it's not in use. So that's kind of some basic differences between the three of these rowers. So let's review the fit and feel of each rower. As I mentioned, each rower has a contoured seat and a very comfortable handle. There's a little bit of a difference in these handles. So you'll notice the Concept2 handle has the vented center. So if you want to, you can thread your hands through and do single arm rowing on the Concept2. It also has these slightly spongy grips here, and it has just a little bit of an ergonomic angle there. So it's comfortable to hold and works for pretty much any size hand. The Hydrow does not have a vented center. So you can see it's a solid piece, so you don't have the option of doing that single-handed rowing. But it does have the comfortable, well-designed handle grips on either side. They're just a little bit cushioned, and they have those locking edges so that it won't spin. The Nordictrack does not have a centerpiece, really. It just has the strap that wraps around, and it's not really contoured. So it's just a straight handle. It is comfortable to hold, but it's not quite the same design as the other two. Another thing that's different, we measured, and on the Concept2, the point at which the chain emerges from the neck of the rower is about 25 inches high. On the Hydrow, it's 27 inches high. Over here on the Nordictrack, it's only 21 inches high. And some of our larger reviewers that were using this felt like they had to hunch over a little bit more on the Nordictrack than on the other two machines. So just kind of something to be aware of regarding the height and the comfort of each machine. So let's consider who each of these rowers would be best suited for, starting with the Concept2. This rower is best for people who have used the Concept2, who are familiar with the PM5 monitor, who know how to row, so you don't need tutorials, you don't need instructions, and you're interested in being in control of your own training, right? You don't want to be locked into a subscription, you don't need somebody to tell you what to do. You can hop on and just using the pre-programmed programs on the console, you can row. It's also well suited for people who would like a rower with a very high weight capacity. This will support up to 500 pounds. So pretty much anybody can use this rower, and it will fold in half, or you can store it vertically. But you need typically a place to use it where you're away from common areas because it's loud. So oftentimes you'll find these in garage gyms or a basement or whatever, because when you're using it, it's really quite noticeably loud. We tested the decibels on each of these machines, and the Concept2 registers between 80 and 85 decibels when you're using it. So it's by far the loudest of the three. So it's well suited for people who want this machine, who know how to use it, but are okay with the fact that it generates a lot of noise. The Hydrow is well suited for people who maybe don't have as much rowing experience, so you really want that engaging content. It's also very, very comfortable. It is quiet. So this is, of the three rowers, this is one that you could use in a shared space. You could tuck it in the corner of a room, you could put it behind a couch, you could put it off to the side of your bedroom, and you could use it with other people around because it just isn't as noisy. When we tested the decibel levels on this one, it was between 65 and 70, which is just barely above just our ambient noise in here, which is right around 60 if nobody's talking. So it's very quiet and it's very comfortable, but it is the most expensive of the three. So if this is the one you're looking at, you have to have a budget, one, for the initial purchase of the machine, and then two, for the monthly subscription, because you're going to have to pay for the content on that touchscreen. So it's well suited for people who want something quiet, want something high-end, and are willing to pay a monthly subscription fee. The Nordictrack is, once again, kind of a combination of the two. It's the same price, roughly, as the Concept2, but you do get a little bit more functionality here with this console. This has 30 preloaded workouts, and it will also sync with the tablet to let you view and watch iFit rowing programs, which are very similar to the Hydrow. It's just your tablet is only 10 inches rather than 22. And it does fold in half. Also, you get the benefits of air rowing, so you can really pull on that strap really hard, and you've got a lot of airflow that you can manage with the air resistance, but it's not quite as loud. So this one on our decibel meter was right between 75 and 80. So it was significantly quieter than the Concept2. Anyway, so that's something to be aware of as far as who these are best designed for. Now, iFit comes free for the first year, but then after that, there is a monthly subscription cost. It's about half what you pay for the Hydrow, but it is something to consider long-term if you want to continue to use that content. The Nordictrack will only support 250 pounds. So of the three, it has the lowest weight capacity. The Hydrow will support 300 pounds, and the Concept2 will support 500 pounds. So just kind of some differences and maybe insight into who these machines would be best suited for, who would like them the best. So for a detailed written review, make sure and check us out at treadmillreviewguru.com. For current pricing for each of these machines, click the links below. And as always, leave us a comment. We'd love to hear your input on the different rowers. If you liked our video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.